Country Cooking. I'm your host, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making potato soup, Mexican beef sandwiches, and knock you out bars. So we're going to start with the bars. We have a bag of caramels that we're going to cook in the top of a double boiler with evaporated milk. I'll get that going. And then we'll start mixing our other ingredients. Together we're going to do our 2.5 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, and our teaspoon of soda. Once again, I always use a whisk and mix them together real well. And then we'll set that aside. Now we're going to combine our softened butter with our sugar, and it's 3/4 cup of white and 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Add our vanilla then. A teaspoon. And then we're going to add our 2 eggs, one at a time. We'll add our second egg. Remember that all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, just give the girls a call. They'll help you get a copy. Okay, now we're going to add our flour mixture. I like to have a clear mixing bowl, then I can look on the bottom and make sure I'm incorporating everything. There's nothing worse than pouring something in a pan and having half of your flour still on the bottom of the bowl. Okay. Now we're going to check on our caramels, see how they're doing here. Turn it up and see if we can hurry it along a little. Okay.
Pick your promo, sign up for high-speed internet, and get an iPad mini for only $60, plus get $60 in Valley Bucks. or sign up for HD DVR from Valley Video and get $60 in Valley Bucks. Take advantage of these great promotions in honor of Valley being around for the last 60 years. Call 437-2615 today.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, we're going to stir in our 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. These bars have all things that we love: peanut butter, caramel, and chocolate. Okay. Now we're going to spread half of this in the pan. I always kind of smooth out my dough, and then it's easier to kind of tell where you are at a half. So then I just kind of scoop down in there. What I do sometimes when you've got kind of a sticky dough is I get some cooking spray and a spoon and spread it out like that.
Introducing our device installment program. Extra savings and extra flexibility. Call Valley today for all the details at 437-2615.
Okay, we've got it all patted in the pan. We're going to pop it in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. You know, while we're waiting for the caramel to dissolve, we're going to start making the Mexican beef. Because it cooks in a crock pot for 12 hours, I'm going to show you how we put everything together, but then I've pre-cooked some so that you can see actually how it turns out. But the nice thing about that is that you can make it ahead of time and then just heat it up. It's going to have a bowl that I can incorporate everything in. We have a half a can of green chilies, 8 ounces of chopped tomatoes. You can use fresh or store-bought, whichever you have. About anywhere from a half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of salsa. I make my own. Pop that in. And we have some garlic. Here. We're going to add our medium onion and our half cup of celery. And a half teaspoon of pepper, half teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of garlic salt. Stir it together. We're going to pop the roast in the crock pot. I always put just a little bit of seasoning on the underside. Pop it in the crock pot, and we're going to pour this over the top. Okay, we're gonna cook it on low for 12 hours, pop the lid on and forget about that. Okay, caramel is about melted here, so we're going to incorporate the peanut butter. It's a half cup of peanut butter. I'm going to grab a whisk just to get it real nice and smooth. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll gladly send you out the recipes. Okay, so it looks like this. Now this has been baking for 10 minutes. We're going to pour the caramel over the top. Spread it to the edges. Okay, now this is the time, this takes a little bit of time. You want to drop this by small spoonfuls, or just use your hands and just kind of drop it into pieces like this all over the top. And you don't have to have it totally closed up. It'll kind of bake out a little bit, so it'll cover it on its own. I took these bars to my circle last night and everyone loved them. So I think it just makes it's a nice bar for a casual meal or something you want to take to a potluck, or if you're invited to someone's house and they say, "Can you bring dessert?" This makes a nice dessert. Takes a little time, but it's worth it. I do my best to fill in the holes, but like I said, it's not vital that you do that. Grab a spatula and just get a little extra out of there. Okay, so it looks like this, and now we're going to pop it back in the oven. We're going to bake it for about another 20 minutes until it gets golden brown on top. And now we're going to start our potato soup. What I've done here ahead of time is I've cut up 6 cups of potatoes You can slice them or you can cut them in cubes. I've done them in cubes about like this. It depends on if you plan on eating the whole batch at once. If you slice it, they get nice and tender right away. If you're going to have leftovers and you're going to heat it up, then sometimes it gets a little mushy. So I'm going to, I've cubed it up and I've sliced my carrots, my 1 cup of carrots. So we're going to bring those to a boil with a little bit of salt in the water. And then I have browned 8 strips of bacon. I've fried it up and crumbled it. So the bacon grease, I'm using 2 tablespoons of that to saute my vegetables, my celery and my onions. And we'll get those going. I actually save bacon grease quite often and use it in different things that I'm cooking if I feel like they need a little more flavor than just butter or oil. So we're going to let this cook. We'll come back in just a minute.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
Okay, here we go. Our potatoes are tender, so we're going to drain them. There's always just kind of a little rim. I'm just going to wipe it out just so we don't have the scum carrots. Pop them back in. Now I'm going to add the onions and the celery into it. And to that we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. The recipe calls for a 4th teaspoon of pepper. I always put a little bit more in there, about 1/2. Okay, now we're going to add our 2 cups of 1/2 and 1/2. And our 2 cups of milk. You can use whatever kind of milk you have. Obviously the heavier the milk, the creamier your soup is going to be. And then we're going to add our bacon. Then we're just going to let that heat through. Just takes a few minutes for that milk and 1/2 and 1/2 to warm up. Got our Mexican beef ready here for the sandwiches. I've got buns ready. So we're just about ready to roll.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, the buzzer just buzzed, so our bars are ready. nice and golden brown. Okay, we're going to dish up our soup. This makes a wonderful supper or something you can do on Christmas Eve or something like that. If you like, you can sprinkle a little cheddar cheese over the top of it. Dish up a Mexican beef sandwich. This also would make a good Super Bowl supper or, you know, just a nice Sunday evening supper. Now remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have the internet, remember you can just call the office and the girls will help you out. And there you go, potato soup, the Mexican beef sandwich, and the Knock You Out bars. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of Country Cooking, and we'll see you next time.